Hello, and welcome to another part of our series on hyperpigmentation and what key ingredients you could use to help your skin stay even and healthy. So my name is Anutu Bagere, and I have a PhD in bioengineering, and I have struggled with hyperpigmentation all my life, whether it was patchy skin because of sun exposure when I was younger, or struggling with cancer and chemo at a later age, and now struggling with hormones that causes dark spots and so on. Hyperpigmentation has definitely been a big one on my list. With hyperpigmentation, what you see is basically discolored patches on your skin compared to the rest of your areas. It could be you could have Caucasian skin, where on the Fitzpatrick scale, which is a measure of skin color, you could fall in between the ranges of 1 to 3, or you could be brown or black, in which case you would fall under the Fitzpatrick scale between 4 to 6. Does not matter what your skin color is, hyperpigmentation can affect everyone. So let's go a little bit deeper into this and understand what are the root causes and how one could use ingredients that are available readily on the market today to help solve this problem. So do you have hyperpigmentation? Comment below to let us know. With that, let's get into understanding hyperpigmentation. So hyperpigmentation, as I mentioned, can affect anyone, but it affects everyone in a slightly different way based on your DNA. So the topmost layer of your skin is called a stratum corneum, and that is what has keratinocytes on the surface and then melanocytes below keratinocytes. Now, melanocytes these are star-shaped cells that contain something called melanosome, wherein the protein or amino acid tyrosine is converted to the pigment melanin. Now, this melanin travels to your keratinocyte and stays on the top of your skin, giving you its color. So what happens is when the sunlight hits your skin, your DNA gets triggered in these cells and tells your skin to create more melanin in these melanosomes that travel to the surface to get into the keratinocytes or the surface of your skin to protect you from burn. So that's essentially what hyperpigmentation can be or is when it's normal. Now, with excess amount of melanin that gets formed because of maybe sun exposure, because of hormones, because of medication, the melanin pigments can start to cluster in your skin. So instead of getting a more uniform tan, you might end up seeing the dark spots that you see, which are called hyperpigmentation spots. There's multiple reasons for hyperpigmentation. One, of course, is sun exposure, right? So in terms of what your skin can actually, whether it can tan or burn, completely depends on your genes and the amount of time you spend in the sun. And so the more amount of time you spend, the more melanin is produced, and this can turn into not just tanning, but also formation of dark spots, especially when there's more UV. The second component of this is hormones, right? In addition to genetic determination of melanin production, hormones and hormonal sensitivity is a leading internal cause of hyperpigmentation and formation of dark spots. One of the most well-known examples here of hormonal hyperpigmentation is melasma, which is a condition characterized by dark patches on the face, particularly on the cheek, forehead, and nose, and the upper lip. Now, melasma is often associated with hormonal changes, such as those that occur during pregnancy, hormone therapy, or even birth control pill use. The hormonal changes can simulate an increase in melanin production. This results in dark spots and areas of hyperpigmentation. Now, this can happen irrespective of UV exposure, though the sun, of course, will exacerbate it. Now, hormones can also affect melanin production by altering the skin's metabolism and pigmentation pathways. For example, high levels of cortisol, a hormone produced by adrenal glands during stress, can trigger an increase in melanin production during hyperpigmentation. The next cause is inflammation. Injury or trauma to the skin can result in hyperpigmentation by triggering an increase in melanin production. When your skin is inflamed or injured, it triggers a response from the body's immune system, and this simulates an increase in melanin production as a protective measure. Now, for example, acne breakouts or other skin injuries can result in PIH or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. This is characterized by dark spots or areas of discoloration on the skin. These dark spots are a result of an increase in melanin production in the affected area, which occurs in response to the inflammation or injury. Now, in addition to acne and other skin injuries, other conditions that can result in PIH could be eczema, psoriasis, or even insect bites. Now, there's another version that is not discussed a lot on forums, which is medication side effects. There are certain medication that can cause hyperpigmentation on skin. These include tetracycline antibiotics, for example, such as doxycycline and minocycline, that can cause discoloration of the skin and teeth when taken in high doses or for extended period of time. NSAIDs or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen and naproxen can also cause hyperpigmentation in some individuals, especially in high doses for an extended period of time. Now, chemotherapy, such as doxorubicin and daunorubicin, can cause hyperpigmentation, especially in areas of the skin that has been exposed to the sun. There's also hormonal medications such as birth control pills and estrogen replacements that can cause hyperpigmentation. Now, there's anti-malarial drugs such as chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. These can cause hyperpigmentation in some individuals, especially when taken in a high dose or for an extended period of time. Isotretinoin, also called Accutane, when taken for acne, can cause hyperpigmentation due to increase of cell turnover and exposing delicate new cells to UV rays before they have shored up sufficient melanin to protect themselves. Now let's get into understanding some of the key ingredients for treating hyperpigmentation. When looking for skincare products to treat and prevent hyperpigmentation and dark spots, it's really important to look for ingredients that can help encourage cell turnover, curb melanin production, and block harmful UV rays. Now, a lot of these things overlap with treatments with other conditions like acne in general, anti-aging, but I've noted ones that specifically work with mechanisms controlling melanin production. Now, we talked a little bit about how melanin is formed, right? They're formed in the melanosomes in melanocytes that are below your keratinocytes in your skin. The melanin then gets transferred from melanosome to your keratinocytes to show up on your skin surface. So there are two mechanisms by which one could prevent pigmentation. One is to prevent this transfer, and the other is to prevent the melanin from being formed, or excess melanin from being formed. And so let's talk about both of these approaches. The first one is a retinoid, which increases cell turnover. Retinoids like tretinoin, adapalene, retinol, etc. can help treat hyperpigmentation by promoting the turnover of skin cells and increasing skin cell growth. This can help fade dark spots and improve overall skin tone by replacing the pigmented skin cells at the surface. So this is like an exfoliant that removes the cells that have already been pigmented. While these are extremely effective, they do have some caveats. First, they can be sensitizing to a lot of users, but this can be tempered using different form functions, different application methods, or even different concentrations. Now, secondly, because it's constantly turning over skin, exposing delicate new cells to the elements, it can actually worsen hyperpigmentation if you're not vigilant about sun protection and avoidance. Now, tretinoin and other retinoids are firewalled behind prescription in some countries, but retinol or retinal is definitely available in OTC form. SPF is another one of those ingredients, which represents a class of many ingredients designed to protect the skin from UV rays and damage that occurs from exposure. UV exposure is one of the biggest causes of hyperpigmentation and wrinkles, so adequate protection is definitely essential. I know I'm not winning any science awards for this declaration, but a lot of people who struggle with hyperpigmentation aren't adequately protecting themselves from the sun. But you also have to be kind of realistic. even with perfect protection and avoidance, sometimes your hyperpigmentation will still flare. This happens during summer for a lot of people, and including me, right? The key is to do your best, and SPF actually works well with numerous other ingredients, as we're gonna talk about below. Arbutin is one of my favorites. It is a tyrosinase inhibitor. This blocks melanin production itself. So tyrosine is the amino acid that gets converted to melanin. Now, tyrosinase inhibitor prevents this mechanism, and so you're not making any. It reduces the amount of melanin that gets formed. Arbutin, or the synthesized version called alpha arbutin, is a favorite brightening ingredient because it's a slow release derivative of hydroquinone that inhibits melanin production. Now, this results in both healing and prevention of dark spots, especially when paired with topical acids. It metabolizes on your skin into hydroquinone, which is super effective for hyperpigmentation while being less controversial and hard to come by ingredient than pure hydroquinone. We'll get more into hydroquinone later. Another one is tranexamic acid. This is a different tyrosinase inhibitor. It was first used in wound care, and it was found to have profound effects on hyperpigmentation. Although it's an acid, it's not a chemical exfoliant. The exact mechanism by which tranexamic acid works to reduce hyperpigmentation is not fully understood, but it is believed to work by reducing inflammation by blocking plasmin, which contributes to melanin production when unchecked. So it's particularly effective in treating melasma and is one of my favorite ingredients. Kojic acid is yet another tyrosinase inhibitor. It's a natural skin brightener that has been derived from various fungi. Now, this is a chemical exfoliant and can also remove dead cells from the surface of your skin. Azelaic acid is another one of those things that can help with hyperpigmentation. It's an anti-inflammatory and antiseptic that disrupts melanin production. Azelaic acid works by inhibiting the production of melanin in skin like those other tyrosinase inhibitors. But in addition, it also has anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties, which help to improve the overall health and appearance of your skin by reducing melanin production as a result of injury or inflammation. It's also an anti-acne ingredient that can address the root cause of PIH by reducing acne on skin. It's pretty awesome and available in OTC and prescription strengths, of course. Niacinamide is another one. Now, this is a twofold action. It can either sometimes directly address hyperpigmentation and sometimes indirectly address hyperpigmentation, right? It is a skin soother. It decreases inflammation and it naturally reduces sebum production, which can curb acne, which can curb PIH, right? So this is the indirect form. Now, it took me a while to figure this out, as I always thought for it to be more of an acne treatment. But niacinamide is a form of vitamin B3 that works by inhibiting the transfer of pigment within the skin itself. So this helps reduce the appearance of dark spots and uneven skin tone. So while it doesn't necessarily block tyrosinase like the previous examples, it prevents transfer of the pigmented skin cells to the surface of your skin. The next one is vitamin C, or L-ascorbic acid, which is an antioxidant that fights free radical damage. It treats and prevents hyperpigmentation in 3 ways. First, it reduces free radical damage from UV exposure, which helps increase the effectiveness of SPF when worn together. So remember to use vitamin C in the morning and top it off with your SPF. Second, it is also a tyrosinase inhibitor that blocks melanin production. And finally, it encourages skin cell turnover. The key is really finding a nice stable version of it. So leave a comment below if you have trouble finding it and we'll help you out. The next one, and this one is for our more mature friends, glycolic and lactic acid. Now, this list has been getting very long, so I'm going to combine these two. Glycolic acid is a water-soluble alpha-hydroxy acid that penetrates into the pores and treats pigmentation by providing a general exfoliation and resurfacing of the skin. The result is that it improves dark spots, texture, and other signs of aging. Lactic acid is also an AHA, but it's a slightly larger molecule, and so it doesn't penetrate as deep and acts more as a surface exfoliant. Because of this, it is actually more gentle and can buff away surface pigmentation with an added benefit of acting as a humectant to seal moisture into the skin. I personally prefer lactic acid because I can use it more often, and it's better on my skin, and it helps me keep my skin hydrated much more so than glycolic acid, which can take some time to build up resistance to in your skin. The next one is licorice extract. This is a plant extract that inhibits melanin production. Licorice root extract contains a compound called glabridin, which has been shown to have skin brightening effects. And of course, as you guessed it, it's a tyrosinase inhibitor. In addition, licorice root extract also has anti-inflammatory properties, which can help reduce redness and inflammation associated with hyperpigmentation. I'm actually seeing more and more of this pop up in skincare. Soy protein is another plant extract that inhibits melanin production. They contain certain compounds known as isoflavonoids, which have been shown to help reduce the amount of melanin produced by melanocyte in the skin. So you're reducing the amount of melanin that's already being produced. Additionally, soy proteins also have antioxidant properties that can help protect the skin from damage caused by free radicals that contribute to hyperpigmentation. So this is our list. Now, there are ways in which you can layer them. There are ways in which you could just use one or the other. If you have any confusion, please leave a comment below or reach out to us on ayuno.bio, and we can help you design your skin routine for you. All right, thank you for staying with us for so long. Let's get into the question and answer session. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We've collected some questions beforehand, and so I will take some time answering those. Let's see. The first one is about vitamin C. I've heard a lot about vitamin C for treating hyperpigmentation. How does it work, and what should I look for in a vitamin C product to ensure it's effective for dark spots? Great question. So vitamin C helps reduce hyperpigmentation by inhibiting the enzyme tyrosinase. This is involved in melanin production, as we have discussed. What you want to look for is products with L-ascorbic acid, which is a more potent form of vitamin C in concentrations between 10 to 20% and packaged in an airtight, opaque container to prevent oxidation. Now, the pH of vitamin C is also important. It's most effective within its range of 3 to 3.3. So oxidation here will increase the pH, making vitamin C less effective. So you want to be careful about the pH of vitamin C as well. The next question we have is about hydroquinone. Is hydroquinone safe for long-term use? Are there any specific precautions I should take while using products containing hydroquinone for hyperpigmentation? So hydroquinone is effective, but should be used with caution. It's safe for short-term use, typically 4 to 6 months. It's advisable to take a break after this period to avoid adverse effects like ochronosis. You always want to use this under the guidance of a dermatologist. Now, you could use alpha-arbutin, which is an interesting active that breaks down to hydroquinone on your skin surface. And because your skin is able to regulate this is much safer option than directly using hydroquinone, and it's more easily available than hydroquinone. You don't need a dermatologist for it. The third question is about retinoids. Can you explain how retinoids help with hyperpigmentation? Also, are there different types of retinoids, and which ones are best suited for sensitive skin? Great. So retinoids, as we mentioned before, accelerate cell turnover. It helps fade hyperpigmentation by increasing the number of new cells that are formed. Now, for sensitive skin, this is tricky because adding too much retinoid at the very beginning can start to irritate your skin. So what you would have to start with a lower concentration or gentler derivatives like retinol or retinaldehyde. You gradually increase the frequency to allow skin to adapt. And remember to use SPF. Okay, let's look at the next question. Niacinamide effectiveness. Niacinamide, how does niacinamide help with hyperpigmentation, and can it be combined with other ingredients like vitamin C or retinoids? Great question, right? We all get questions about niacinamide and vitamin C and whether you could use it together or not. So niacinamide works by reducing the transfer of melanin to skin cells. And this is how it prevents fading dark spots. It's generally well tolerated and can be combined with vitamin C or retinoids, although it is better to separate the application of the two. So if you're using vitamin C in the morning, you use niacinamide at night, because vitamin C along with SPF is a great combination for your skin. SPF increases the efficacy of vitamin C. But so you might want to use niacinamide in the evening during your night routine for that very reason. So that's the time we have for questions today. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you for our next part, the second part in the series, to talk about the routines and recommendations and how you might layer actives on each other. Till next time.